Hello, my friends. You are welcome to another episode of Nikki's Nuggets where we talk together. I am your host and your best friend, Nicholas Ifemena Orerime. I feel very sorry for men who in the past thought that the girl child was a waste. On our show today, there's a very difficult situation. Uh, this story is just unfolding, and we are being invited at the nick of time to be part of this interesting situation. We'll be right back.
No one has it all.
That's right.
No one knows it all.
Oh, yeah.
What you know, what I know is a game. It's niggas nuggets.
Yay.
Welcome back. Today, the story before us is a very long one, but I have decided not to show it on the screen for you to read because it's very long. I will just tell the story briefly. There are many men in the past. I'm saying in the past because I'm trying not to believe that at this age and time, there are still men who believe that the female child does not worth their investment. It's a very sad story, but let's look at it. According to this woman in this very long email, her father walked out on her on the very day she was born. She is the second of two daughters. Her mother in the story said when she was pregnant with her first daughter, the husband believed so much that it was going to be a boy. When she was pregnant, the husband already gave the child a name, a boy's name. He said that was his firstborn son, and that it could never be a girl because he is the man and he knows exactly what he gave to the woman. So, this woman must give back to him the son which he planted in her. Now, he was in the category of men who believed as at that time that the family must start with a son. In fact, many men at that time believed that even if you had 5 boys without a girl, it was perfect. Better than when you have so many girls because they are not good for anything other than housewives and for making babies. In this particular case we are looking at, this man was too obsessed with his firstborn son. Well, when the child was eventually delivered, turns out that it was a girl. The man was so downcast, unhappy, disappointed, and was so mad at the woman. Now, it happened that that pregnancy was a very difficult one for the woman. In the story, it was told that after the first child was born, the doctor highly recommended that if it was possible, she should not have another child. Women are more likely to understand this kind of situations. You know, your doctor tells you after childbirth and gives you advice. If it were possible, let this be your last pregnancy. It was a very difficult pregnancy for her. She was very ill and spent so much money to pull through. And in the end, it was a girl. And the father was so unhappy. But the man did not end the marriage. They stayed together. The man said to himself that he would allow this girl to be his daughter, but that he was waiting for his son. I remember a particular story where a man decided to recognize the third child as the first just because he was a boy. What I'm saying is that he had two girls before the third child. And when the third child came and was a boy, he decided in his heart and mind to regard the third as the firstborn, while the first two girls would now be under the boy. Well, that is just a story for another day. In this particular matter, after 5 whole years, the man said it is time for his son to arrive. The woman remembered the recommendations made after the first daughter. But she had no option. She decided to allow the man, plant another seed. Even if she knew that it was going to be another painful journey, she took it. Of course, she got pregnant. Now, this man definitely will not accept another female child. The reason why many men in the past did that, I would think, is because of this excuse they give that girls will be married off. Only boys will retain their names so that their names will never be forgotten. That is the only reason I could think of why men at that time believed that the woman or the girl child was a waste or just good enough to make babies and serve husbands. Back to the story. It was another difficult and painful journey for this woman. That pregnancy almost took her life. So much money spent. She spent so much time in the hospital. Now, on the day of delivery, she was not able to have the baby delivered naturally. It had to be a cesarean section. Yes, it was another girl. Because it was CS, he was the man that first knew or saw the child, because the woman was still sleeping. When the man walked into that ward where the child was born, and he was told, "Hey, sir, you have a bouncing baby girl." This man did not bother to even look into the eyes of his daughter, talk less of carrying the child. As soon as he heard that it was a girl, he turned around, went back home, gathered everything that belonged to the wife, put them in different bags, and came to the hospital and put all those things by the bedside of this woman. According to the story, the older sister was in school while this was happening. Now, he left an instruction that when she wakes up, she and that thing she gave birth to and the other one in school, they should come together and find another home, because all three of them are no longer welcomed in his house. It is a very long story, but I'm going to skip every journey that this woman had to take from when she woke up and discovered that her husband had instructed her never to return home with this girl. Whatever it took for her to survive from that day, women, single mothers, you can begin to imagine it for yourself. All the bills from that moment fell to this woman. Where would she go from there? Of course, she went somewhere, but that is not the story for this episode. It was a very sorrowful, terrible, painful, and traumatizing journey for her, with a newborn and her other girl trying to find a new place for themselves. How they survived up until now to tell the story is enough to write a book. You know what is very, very interesting right now? Those girls, by the strength of their mother, I need to applaud mothers, because right there she became a mother and a father at the same time. Today, those two girls, oh my God, you need to see their pictures. If they permit me, I will post their pictures. If you see where they are right now, you would, oh my God, you will bless their mother with so much prayers right now. They made it. The particular girl, that is the second daughter, that made this man to take such a terrible decision, grew up, succeeded, and was able to build a house for her mother and her sister. So they live together. Not just that, she built a house where people come to rent and live. So she is a landlord. Now, she does not deal with her tenants. She only deals with the property managers. A report came to her about 4 months ago of a particular old and sick man who has not been able to renew his rent. He was given a quick notice as the agreement stated. It was time for that man to be evicted. When they went to evict him, they saw this man lying helplessly sick, dying, and had no money, not even for medical bills, let alone to pay his rent. Because they were very sympathetic, they did not evict him, but decided to bring this matter to the owner of the property. When they brought this matter to her and gave her the information of this man, that name rang a bell. Well, she had never seen the man and does not even know how her father looked like, but the name. And so called on the mother. Look at that name. And when the mother saw the information and the passport of the man on that paper, you already know. That is the father of this girl. Sick, dying, and unable to pay his rent. As we speak, this girl, her sister, and the mother have discovered that their father is the one to be evicted, but they have not yet gone ahead to see him face to face. I mean, the older girl knew the father because she was around 5 or 6 years old at the time. But the younger daughter never saw him. Now, right about now as we speak, this story is becoming very, very interesting, at the same time unfortunate. That is in my opinion. How does this story strike you like right now? I wish all the men who in the past disregarded the girl child and thought that only the male child should be taken and invested in How I wish all of those men could sit around me on this table and see how this story is going to play out. At this point in time, this girl is not ready to meet face to face with her father. She is not ready to spend a dime of her money on this man. And she is not ready to allow that man to live in her property. The decision they are about to take is to go ahead and evict him because they don't want to ever set eyes on him again. Would that, in your opinion, be too harsh on the father? Would you think that it would be wrong of the girl to throw the man out of her building? Or what exactly do you think will be the best option like right now? I believe that from this story, we will certainly have a lot to learn about and a lot to talk about. Let us reason together.